What is happening, people? So I guess that's going to be the intro to these. I don't know. I'll try not to get stuck in a rut with it though, I guess. Yeah, really good session today. Got some plus ones, pretty much PR'd all of the legwork. Then matched some reps. But yeah, there's an overall topic I sort of wanted to talk about, which was basically because of some of the stuff that happened during this session, and that is just getting rid or learning to rid yourself of training neuroticism. And that can show up in a million different ways, right? It could be about programming, it could be diet, nutrition related, it could be something doesn't go quite right, you don't hit a specific number that you're shooting for in an arbitrary time frame that you've set yourself to hit that number in, and just honestly constantly overthinking training and these small little decisions you make that in your head seem massive when in reality it's neither here nor there. It really doesn't matter. So within the context of this session, one thing that happened was the pec deck was taken, and I didn't want to ask to work in with the guy. He had like a load of broccoli boy high school kids. I say with complete respect, of course. Yeah, he had a bunch of high school kids talking to him around the pec deck as well, so I was like, you know what, I'll just leave them to it and I'll just do a dumbbell fly instead. And you could, that is an example where you could get in your own head and be like, no, I need the exercise consistency, and I need to do exactly the same thing every time. In reality, a chest fly is a chest fly, you know what I mean? And it's one session, and I challenged myself with a new weight on the dumbbell chest fly that I hadn't used before, so it's an automatic win. And I'll just do the pec deck next session. It's fine. You know what I mean? There's literally no thought has to go into it. Just do what you can in the moment, and don't even think about it. Now, it's taken me a long time to get to that point because I am obsessive with training. It's like my it's my passion, I guess you could say. So I am susceptible to all of these things, and this is why I'm talking about it, right? It's anything that comes up in these training logs and anything I ever advise or suggest is me telling myself all of this first and foremost, you know what I mean? Like, it's coming from a place of like, I need to tell myself this, or I have needed to tell myself this in the past, and I have been through this and I have learnt the way to overcome whatever this topic is that I'm talking about. So it's always coming from a place of personal experience, right? I'm not just randomly dictating how you should train without having something to back it up or some sort of skin in the game. Sort of getting off track there, but yeah, so that was one thing. And then because of that, I ended up being in a different part of the gym in terms of like exercise order and stuff like that. than would be usual for this session. So I hit the dumbbell pullovers, which I think I mentioned last time, are finally a chest and triceps exercise for me rather than lats, which is good. But yeah, so I essentially just supersetted those straight after the flies, and obviously my reps dropped off. I wasn't anywhere near, my quote unquote PR. But again, it's something that just doesn't matter because it's one session. I'll very likely go back to my usual setup next time, and even if I don't, it's no biggie. So yeah, just supersetted that. Performance dropped off obviously, but the actual sets themselves were really good. I think the fly and the pullover is going to come up now after this chest press. I got a +1 on this, by the way. I actually had to check the weight after the initial rep because it felt so light. So I sort of knew I was in for, either a very solid set where I had an extra rep in the tank, or I just take an extra rep, which is what I did. Yeah, anyone who listens to this, by the way, I sort of, like I said in the last one, I want this to be useful to other people. So yeah, this is the dumbbell chest fly. I want this to be useful for anyone who listens to it, rather than me just talking about my own training and the training clips. And that's why I'm sort of coming at it with like a topic to discuss each day. But if you'd prefer me to just talk about the training clips as they're on screen, then I can do that as well. I could even just loop this afterwards, and then we can go through the clips on the second run through, So on the first run through, we have a topic, and then the second run through, I talk through the clips. But yeah, it's, I don't know, I can play around with the format. But yeah, getting back on point is realize that, don't miss the forest for the trees, I guess would be the saying. Like, you can get so caught up in these tiny little things that either happen during your training session, or even if you're someone like, this applies to me as well, like I think about training a lot outside of the gym, just because I'm super into it, like I care about it. So I'm always thinking about my next session. But again, you get to this place where you realize you're going to be doing the same thing again and again, and this is a lifetime of, if you take this seriously, you're going to be doing it for life. And if you can, once you truly live in that perspective, you come to a place where you realize how little everything matters. And I mean that in the best way possible. Like, I'm not coming at that from like a nihilistic perspective. What I'm saying is that as long as your foundations are solid over the long term, you do not have to stress about these tiny fluctuations on a per session basis. So yeah, that's reminded me what the third aspect of this session was. There are a couple of lifts that, this is an example actually. This JM press, I think I actually lost a rep. I thought I'd matched, but I think I lost a rep from last time. And now you could stress about that and be like, oh, I'm not making progress. But the rest of the session went really well. You know, I PR'd, I got +1s, I matched on a lot of sets, I just had really good execution on most of the sets. And these daily fluctuations where you may lose a rep here and there is like, that is within the normal bounds of just standard fluctuations, right? And it could be a million things. And in the case of the JM press, it's probably the exercise order, because it was slightly different this session. Does it matter? No, because I'm within that like boundary of, you know, 1 or 2 reps either side of my best. And as long as over time that goes up, you know, generally speaking, as long as those numbers trend upwards over time, it's all good. So that's just yet another example of something you just let it be what it is. And next session I'll probably hit my PR again and it'll be fine, or I may even get a +1. As long as it's going up over time, nothing to worry about. It's the trend that matters. You want a gradual upward trend in your training. So yeah, that's kind of it. I think this is the last clip. So yeah, there you go. And if you made it this far and you have, you know, you want me to actually talk through the clips and stuff as well, then do let me know. Either comment or, well, yeah, I guess all you have to do is comment. But yeah, if you want the format to be a little bit different, so you get like a topic and then me just talking through the clips, do let me know. But for now, we'll keep it as it is. So yeah, I'll see you for the next one.